wake up. First thing you do, you grab your phone. You tap, you swipe, you pay for your coffee. Everything feels modern, doesn't it? Instant, and totally under your control. But what if that feeling of freedom, is actually the most sophisticated trap ever built?
What if I told you that the invisible rules that control your money, your job, and even your time were written when electricity was considered magic and kings literally owned people? Now, I know that sounds like a crazy conspiracy, but stick with me, because I'm going to prove to you that some of the most personal choices you make today were actually decided for you centuries ago.
Just look at this. This is the fundamental conflict that's running your life, the one nobody ever talks about. We are living with artificial intelligence, but we're governed by rules from the age of horse carts. We have global satellites, but our systems were built by candlelight. You see the problem here? Our technology has skyrocketed, but the rule book, it's stuck in the past. And that mismatch is like a silent virus in the operating system of your life.
Think of our world like this. It's a massive, gleaming glass skyscraper. It looks futuristic, strong, almost perfect. But what you don't see is that it's built on these ancient, crumbling stone foundations. We never look down there. We never even think about them. But they're the only thing holding this whole shebang together, and they're starting to crack.
So that really begs the question, right? What happens when an operating system that was built on fear tries to manage a world that's all about freedom? Well, that's the collision we're about to dive into.
To really get this, we have to go back. I mean, way back. Back to the source code of society itself. Because you need to understand that the original purpose of these systems, it wasn't to make you happy or fulfilled. Nope. It was something way more primitive. See, these laws, these rules, they were born in a time of absolute violence and chaos. Their goal wasn't justice as we think of it. It was crowd control for kings and rulers. They were designed for pure survival, they were fueled by fear, and they were built for one single purpose, to make huge groups of unpredictable people predictable.
I want you to let that sink in for a second. The system that you live inside of every single day was not designed to help you thrive. It was designed to make you predictable. And once you see that, all the frustrating, illogical parts of modern life suddenly start to make perfect and kind of terrifying sense.
Okay, so let's pull this out of the dusty history books and plug it directly into your life, right now. Because this isn't some abstract historical fact. This is where you can actually feel the cracks in those old foundations every single day.
Let's talk about ownership. The very idea of who owns what, it wasn't born from some noble concept of fairness. It was forged in conquest. It was designed to protect the stuff that kings stole. And today, that same ancient code is what decides who profits from your work, your digital art, and even your personal data.
You ever have that feeling like you're running faster and faster on a hamster wheel, but you're not actually getting anywhere? That's not just a feeling. That's the friction. That is you standing right at the point of collision between an ancient system and your modern life.
And what about your time? The whole 9-to-5 grind? You think that was designed for your well-being? No way. It was designed for factory machines, to get the most out of human beings before they broke down. And yet here we are, in an age of AI and automation, and we're still chained to that same ancient clock.
It's not your money. It's not even your data. The most valuable thing you give away every day without a second thought is your time. It's the only thing you can never, ever get back. And it's being regulated by a system that still sees you as just a resource, not a real person. But here's the part that's truly insidious. This is where it gets really scary. Because these old rules don't just control what you do, they control how you think. The most effective prison, you see, isn't one with bars. It's one built inside your own mind.
And it's a 4-step process. It's actually pretty simple. First, the old system just stays there. Then, its authority becomes invisible. It's just the way things are. Third, obeying it becomes a habit, like brushing your teeth. And then, the final, most important step, you stop asking the most powerful question there is. Why? You stop questioning the system, and you start questioning yourself instead.
And that is the system's ultimate magic trick. You don't fight it because you don't even see that it's there. The most perfect form of control is when you believe you're making a free choice, but you're actually just following a script that you never even knew was written for you.
So, here we are, living in a high-tech future, but we're being governed by a low-tech past. We're obeying rules from a world that doesn't exist anymore, not because they're right, but because even thinking about questioning them feels impossible. And all of this leaves us with one final and honestly terrifying question.
Just think about that for a minute.
What happens when a system that was designed for silent, predictable obedience collides with a new world where every single person has a microphone? What happens next?